Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's my pleasure to be with you today, inshallah, talking about very nice topic about building strategy and business plan for 2025. We believe that this is the right time. Many people are trying to build their strategic objectives, business plan, KPIs for 2025. So I hope this is the right time, inshallah, to present this topic. Today, I'm very happy that I have with me Miss Alia Al-Harazi. She's a certified PHRI professional, certified level A and B assessor in psychometric assessment, and holder of a certificate in NPL and a career counselor. She has more than 14 years of experience in various HR functions. Also, I have Mr. Mustafa Ismail with me. He's have more than 16 years of extensive HR experience in diverse industries, including F&B, logistics, and retail, and HR life support. And also he has strong interpersonal communication skills with the ability to discharge multiple responsibility efficiently in achievement of company-wide HR goals. So we are welcoming Mr. Mustafa and Ms. Alia, and please feel free also to add to my introduction, inshallah, if you feel that you need to put more information about yourself. These meetings comes to us with the sponsorship of HR Leaders Kuwait, and I'm Dr. Muhammad Rabi al-Sheikh, the founder of HR Leaders Kuwait and CEO of Tenmaya Group, and also the founder of Quality and Excellence Middle East and Qatar School Middle East and the HR Excellence Club. So it's our pleasure to have our guests with us. Okay, so I leave the floor now to Ms. Alia and Mr. Mustafa to start their presentation. Okay, thank you so much.
Much appreciated, and thank you so much for the introduction. And I welcome you all for this session. We have 13 members in this session, perhaps 13 including me, so we're 12. I will try my best to summarize the ideas that we have in a way where everybody understands what we need to do without having to feel a pressure of it's a difficult thing that cannot be achieved. In fact, this is something that can be achieved as long as you have the right tools and you use the right steps to implement it. If you would allow me to share my screen, I think I need to be a host before that.
I think you already have tried. I give you share.
Just 1 second.
Good evening, doctor.
Hello, my friend. Hope all is well.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are always welcome. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so our topic today is building strategy and business plan. There is a first part that I will take care of, and then Mustafa will continue with the strategic objectives. So the first question we ask normally, and we ask ourselves is, what do I need to do before I generate the business plan? So a business plan means you are looking at what you need to do for the company and where you're going ahead. And there is a process for information gathering, analyzing the business ideas, and defining the objectives. Where do I get the information from? You get it from your mission, your vision. Where does the company want to go? What is the structure that the company has? Sometimes we need some financial input towards where we were last year financially, where we're targeting to go next year. And you need to know things like, what is your unique selling proposition? What is your market research towards your company? What is the objective of next year? Where does the company need to go? Because if we're also planning a departmental business plan, your goals have to be targeted with the company. So for example, if I have my company and the objective is to increase revenue by, let's say, 30%. So how can I, as a department HR, work towards achieving that target. I'm a cost center. I don't generate revenue, but what I can do as a department is reduce the costs. So this is where I link my objectives and what I need to do with the company objectives. So the first thing you need to do is study your business, get to know what is the vision, what is the objective for next year. And one important part that you need to do is the SWOT analysis. Now, this can be done for the company as a whole, and this can be done for a department. Of course, we all know what SWOT is, so I'm not going to go much into details, but it is basically the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the strength and the threats. So you can see where is the company needing the support from, so that the business as well is aware of what needs to be moving forward. Okay, so then what is the definition of strategy? Now, a strategy is a plan. It's a direction. It has to have a schedule. It is a method that is implemented between you and the other company and the other departments. It's a program that puts every other department, every member of the company together. It's an approach and a goal, and it is towards the future. Now, in terms of definitions, which is something that you would read, a definition of the objectives, basically, it's the actions and the decisions that the company takes to reach its goals. It's defined as the business need, where it needs to go. It's also what helps the different departments work together to ensure departmental decisions are supported towards one direction. I will not really go, there's not much in terms of my presentation with definitions, but these are things you need to know before you move forward. So a goal is something that is a framework, or basically it is an idea of what needs to happen for a company. But the objective is where the goal needs to use SMART criteria, which is what we're going to discuss next. And it needs to have a measure. And that measure is a number, a percentage, a standard unit, and you need to either impact it over time and measure it that way. And a target is the desire of the level of performance, which mainly we will be talking about next, which is the KPIs. So, like I said, in short, in a very small, short version of a business plan, you would have the vision, the mission, the values and belief of the company. You will have the organization structure. You will have the SMART objectives, the strategic objectives, the key performance indicators, and the initiatives and projects. These are the main things you need to put in your business plan. We will not be able to discuss anything related to point 1 and point 4 because that is very specific to your organization. So there's not much from our side to be presenting. However, we will start talking about the SMART objectives, and this is where I go in next with my presentation. So what is SMART? Your objectives need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be achievable. They need to be relevant and time-bound. Now, again, this is something I discussed with Doctor, that, you know, we can talk and we can say so much in theory, but here we need to talk about the practical part of it. So I will just leave the definitions and go directly to my slide. So what is specific? You need to answer two things: what and who. So what exactly will you do? What is the action? And what are you intending to impact? You need to answer these questions. And when you look at the who is responsible for carrying out that action? Who are you intending to impact, or who is your target population? So when you have an objective, let's give an example. I need to increase the customer service score. Okay, so that is my objective. It's very general. No, you need to make it very specific. So what exactly do you want to increase in terms of the customer satisfaction? Is it a score? Is it an index? Is it a ratio? Are you going to go higher or lower? And who is the one responsible for doing that? The example I have here is an original objective of staff will be trained in food safety, okay? So this is what I want to do. This is my objective. I want to train staff in food safety. However, to make it specific, I need to clarify who and what. So to convert this one into a SMART objective, you need to add who is going to do it, which is basically learning and development department will offer. What are they offering? They're offering food safety 101 training to all staff. So here I've made it very specific. It wasn't very general towards what exactly we need to do with this specific objective. Okay. Now, how do we measure it? Because this needs to be measurable. And for that, I will need a target. So to measure it is how will you be able to show the success of how you've implemented. Now, let me make things quite clear for everyone. It is very easy for us to say what our objectives are and we set it. However, getting to see the progress and measure the progress and the outcome is where the trick is. So in my example here, I've mentioned that Learning and Development Department will offer food safety training to staff, resulting in 90% of the staff completing. So my target, the way I will measure it, is if I have 100 staff, I want at least 90% of them to have completed the training. So I've made it measurable. I've given it a weight, and I need it to be 90% of all the staff covering it. Now, I've given a very general objective because I wanted it to be something you can relate to. You can just maybe change food safety and say first aid, for example, okay? So we move to the next point, which is time bound. Now for time bound is I need to have it done in a specific time. It has to have a time frame. I cannot just leave things in general. This way I will not be able to measure it correctly, okay? So in this objective, I had an additional time, which is Learning and Development Department will offer food safety 101 training to staff, resulting in 90% of the staff completing food safety 101 by July 2025. So I expect that all the training will be done for 90 of my staff, which is out of 100, to be done in July. What is going to happen now is the Learning and Development Department will have to keep a tracker to see how much are they going to train in January, February, March, and so on. So this will give them a timeline that they need to be strictly following, okay? Now, when we look at achievable, okay? So let me look at what I've done. Is it something that can be accomplished? Or is it just, over? Like, I really can't do it by July. It's just not possible because of the shifts, because of the timing, or whatever reasons. So here, I need to make things very realistic in terms of how I can put the objective. So I've changed two things. If you look at the previous slide, you will see that it said 90% and it said by July. However, now I've changed it to 75% and I have changed the time to December. So this way, I've given the departments and I've given myself a way to make this achievable, which is something that can be done. Looking at the last point, and the reason why I've put the R, although the R is before, is the last one, because relevant is always directed to the main goal, okay? So you can't have your objectives away from the main objective of the company. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for you to have things that are not directly impacting the company. So for this example, in our organization, we had enhanced customer experience and retention as one of the main objectives for the company for the year that was coming ahead. So they wanted the customer to have the best experiences and to make sure that they don't have issues. And it was a food and beverage company. So what we did is we ensured that one of the things we can do is to have people and our visitors come in and not have any issues with their food, let's say. So food safety was a very important thing, and that way it will overall reach the objective, okay? So this is just a small example, and this is just the part of the presentation that I have, which discusses the points that are related to the company itself. How can I have objectives? How can I make them smart? So you need to follow the S, the M, A, R, T, which is, I'll go back to my slide. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It is very important for all your objectives to have that. Otherwise, you will have issues either following up on them or ensuring that they are basically achievable or not. Now, for my part, like I said, I am, this was the part that I was going to be talking about. However, if you have any other questions, please leave them in the chat, and towards the end, we can discuss them further. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alia. That's awesome.
So Mustafa will be presenting now.
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen. 1 second. Okay. Hi, everyone. Is it seen now, right, Dr. Rabi'?
Yes.
It is clear.
Great, great. Thank you for your comment. Hi, everyone. Dr. Rabi', thank you so much for the event. All participants, thank you for your attendance. Ms. Alia, also, thank you for your part. Before starting, my part will be talking about strategic objective itself. Before starting, needs to mention that strategic objective for each company, department-wise, it will be start or going on between October and November for each previous year. For 2025, it will be like now. By 15 December, as average, it must be submitted to top management for review and be considered. Objective of HR department can be set by department head, regardless of the position of the HR person, HR manager or whatever. HR strategic objective are set based on corporate objective of the company. Means after having the corporate objectives cascaded to all departments, the HR department will take its part through its the corporate objective and set the HR objective. Like what? I have an example here: revenue growth. Let's say. So corporate objective is a revenue growth. HR department can create its own strategic objective from this one to have, let's say, cost saving initiatives, learning development, from which is related and connected directly to the revenue and growth. This is before starting. When it comes to strategic objective, which our main topic now, the main component of planning or having the plan, it's 5 parts actually. SWOT analysis, which already talked about Ms. Alia, I will not repeat again. SWOT analysis of HR department. We are talking about strengths of the department itself, competent, either competent staff, the positive side of the department, weakness, opportunity, and threats. What can be the threats to be avoided in the next year? Like market marketing wise or whatever. Second one will be strategic objective, which I'm going to talk about in my main topic today. Third one will be implementation plan. Fourth one is the monitoring and evaluation of the plan. Fifth one is the risk and mitigation. So starting by strategic objective, HR strategic objective can be too many, but I have selected 4 of them in order to have the time to talk about in enough way. So our strategic objective chosen is talent acquisition and development, cultural transformation, employee well-being and engagement, cost-saving initiatives, which I just mentioned, connected to the corporate objective. Starting by talent acquisition and development, each strategic has the strategy and KPI, okay? Then how to implement the strategy, which is a project that can be done in order to achieve our strategy. Something in the screen here, I cannot remove. Okay, so talent acquisition and development, first one, to attract, recruit, and retrain diverse and innovative talent that align with the company mission, which already set by corporate mission of the company. I have mentioned here, usually we mention one strategy with one KPI, but to have more samples and to give more example, I have added more strategy to the talent acquisition and more KPIs to have more examples for everyone to get benefit of it. So first strategy is develop targeted recruitment strategy to attract individuals with a passion for innovation and creativity, which within talent acquisition. Number 2, implement onboarding programs to integrate new employees to the company culture. Number 3, facilitate continuous learning and development opportunities to enhance employee skills and knowledge. We're talking about employee-centric. Now we are the world going and the business run based on employee, actually, rather than before. KPI can be in this area, achieve a score of 70% on employee engagement score. Number 2, decrease involuntary turnover ratio to 20%. So we have the strategic objective, main strategic talent acquisition. We have the strategies under the strategic one, and the KPI, what we are going to achieve. Now, throughout the time and throughout the year, we have plan made or given in order to achieve the strategy and KPI. In terms of talent acquisition, some of the plan or project name can be recruitment process optimization, the project details to creating a new recruitment policy, procedure, and workflow, project outcome that serves the talent acquisition, which is efficiency and effectiveness in attracting the most suitable candidates. Another plan can be onboarding program, developing comprehensive onboarding materials and gathering feedback to continue, improve the process. Project outcome, enhance the onboarding process to ensure new hires feel welcomed, informed, and prepared for their new role. As all of you know, the importance of onboarding, it's a proactive terms in order to absorb the when the employee come to new company, something new for him, like ice break. So onboarding is very important to enhance and will let them in advance knows what they are going to receive, what they are going to see in the new company, to be prepared for their new role, to start their business in a smooth way. Number 3 project can be diversity and inclusion programs. Develop initiatives to enhance diversity and inclusion within the organization. Project outcome, promoting a more inclusive and diverse workforce, 30 to 40 diverse hires from total count, which is as per the research and analysis, 30-40% diversity is average ratio to be done in each company to have smooth operations without any problems in terms of nationalities and whatsoever. Employee engagement surveys. Conduct regular employee engagement survey to gather feedback and identify area of improvement. The outcome is to achieve 70% of employee engagement score throughout the years. Going to the second strategic objective, which is cultural transformation. I chose cultural transformation. Actually, it's playing very vital role in our business today, especially people who work in recruitment and who's receiving the ratios of turnovers. The main factor, if you hear from people and during the exit interview, they will tell you moving or going or leaving company due to culture. Culture bad, culture treated not good. So I focus on this to mention the main goal is to fostering a culture of innovation, inspiration, and inclusivity through the organization. The strategy can be this is Talat. Implement initiatives that encourage creativity, collaboration, and idea sharing among employees. Strategy number 1. Number 2, establish programs to recognize and reward innovative contributions from employees. Number 2, again, to be more close from employee, to hear from employee. This is the gap that was really affecting the business in the few years back. Number 3, promote inclusivity through diversity and inclusion training initiatives that create an equitable workplace. KPIs outcome from this can be achieve 70% of culture evaluation survey. Number 2, obtain minimum 5 action plans from focus group insight during 2025 that reflect to the ROI. Again, whenever we're talking about focus group, it's internal communication between staff can be done randomly or structured within the department or cross-functional department. It's about making close communication, avoid the gaps between the staff, and coming with ideas that reflect on the business ROI by the end of year in terms of sales and profit. Now the projects can be done in the cultural transformation. Project number 1, culture evaluation survey, collecting feedback from employees through culture evaluation survey to gain comprehensive understanding on the organizational culture. Keep asking and keep communicating the culture we have in company. And outcome can be identifying organizational strength and weakness in the current culture. Like we are measuring the culture in the eyes of the staff. Percentage transfer to KPI and ratios and work on it to increase in future wise. That benefit the business as a whole. Project number 2, conducting focus group, as I mentioned, holding focus group to obtain employee insights that may be transformed into ideas and proposals of action that serve ROI, return on investment improvement. So the KPI can be obtaining minimum 5 action plans that reflect ROI by end of the year 25. Number 3, recognition and reward programs. Implementing diversity of recognition and reward programs to foster culture of appreciation, motivation within an organization. So the outcome is to achieve 80% of employee engagement score. Project number 4, team building, event planning. Implement program activities to increase employee engagement and involvement in shaping the company culture. The outcome can be 80% increase in supportive work environment. So, number 3 of strategic employee well-being and engagement. So, as we notice, our main is employee-centric. We are talking about employees who are the main asset of the company in the recent century. So strategy number 1, implement regular feedback mechanism and performance review to understand and enhance employee satisfaction. Keep receiving the reviews and performance in very close way between department heads and the employees to get the feedback, ongoing feedback throughout the year to keep them involved in the business and department. Strategy number 2, create initiative to improve work-life balance and promote a healthy and supportive work environment. The KPIs can be in this place, aim for an absenteeism ratio rate below 3 to 5%. Maintain a healthy leave utilization of 70 to 75%. I'm talking about misusage of leaves. So many faced a huge amount of leaves that not reporting back NRB, or who is misusing the leave by fake sickness, or coming as per his wish after 1 or 2 months from vacation or whatever. So to maintain 70 to 75 healthy leave based on leave planner of the year. The projects can be done on this area. Project number 1, hold meeting outside office, encouraging employees to conduct outside office meeting through different channels while adhering to company regulations, of course. To increase creativity and innovation, improve focus and attention, grab the attention of the employees. Unfortunately, so many hidden talent are within our company who are not department heads are not in touch with them directly and not listening to them and getting their inputs. So there was so many innovative ideas came to me as a person through personal contact randomly with different departments. While holding such meeting, it can uncover so many out of this. So project number 2, arrange for outdoor tours. Take a tour to scientific center or cinema or wherever. Improve team dynamics to avoid getting them burdened from the workplace and job. Number 3, physical activity, bowling, football, volleyball, and so on. Organizing different type of activities, higher employee engagement, and a positive company culture. Number 4, strategic objective, which is cost-saving initiatives, which affect directly to the ROI of the company. Here we have more than strategy due to the importance. Number 1, automation of admin process. Recently, usage of paperwork was very huge. So automation can serve the business in terms of time consumption and savings. Number 2, employee training and development to put employee on track regardless of their position and department. All of us knows about the importance of training and how it return back benefits on the company, especially who work in sales and FMB directly. Reduce PE cost. PE cost, I'm talking about personal expense, which is direct and indirect. Indirect one, which is the salary who's received fixed salary end of the month. Indirect cost, which is residency, visa, ticket of arrival, and so on. So reducing it is a main strategy for cost savings in all companies. Number 4, enhanced manpower strategy, which coming with a PE cost. maintaining a manpower plan adequate and suitable and serve the mission and vision of the company, it will refer to a lot of savings. Number 5, vendor negotiation, like looking the areas of high expense in terms of accommodation, changing, ticketing, vendors, insurance companies, and negotiation for the best of the company in terms of cost. The KPI can be employee turnover cost, 20% reduction in turnover connected with a direct and indirect cost. Number 2, cost of compliance violations, keeping 0 cost related to compliance with legal requirement. Okay. The project in this area can be emphasized on low-cost hiring overseas. I need to mention and repeat again that each strategy not directly connected to KPI and project, but as I said, I wanted to give more example for strategy, a different type of KPI, what can be, to have more samples and diversity of projects, of course. So project number 1, emphasize on low-cost hiring overseas, replacing local hire staff with overseas local lower cost within similar or higher qualifications. I'm talking about different departments, corporate, retail, factory, and F&B. The outcome is to reduce, as mentioned in KPI, 20% reduction in labor cost. Accommodation relocation, as I stated, to relocate the accommodation in KPI-wise, a reduction in 10% of accommodation rent. Employee training and development, investing in training is very important and vital in this era in terms of program to upskill existing employee rather than hiring new talent externally. That is showing a lot of saving and in many companies. So the outcome can be saving recruitment costs, promoting internal career advancement. I'm talking about succession planning or replacement planning, whatever. Enhance employee retention and loyalty to company. This is the 4 strategic objectives with a project. Very easy to need to mention that to set an objective, it's easier than achieving it. So we can do our research and set objectives, cascade it or submit it to the top management and have approvals. When and again or next on, we'll have the problem of how to do it, when to do it, how to achieve it, who will calculate, how to make sure it's done correctly or not done correctly. So I didn't present here the other implementation plan, monitoring and evaluation, and risk and mitigation. So implementation plan, it's about dividing each objective to the months. Let's say going to objective cost saving, automation and admin process, from which it's dividing or putting on calendar from which day to day to work on this strategy. We cannot work on all strategic objective and the strategy at once. So dividing the period of time, then deciding with whom to be and what the objective, and monitoring the KPI. Let's say reducing PE costs. It can be with HR manager and compensation and benefit staff under him from period so to period so. Vendor negotiation or recruitment, training development, let's say. It can be HR manager named so with the training and development manager from such period to such period. This in terms of implementation. Monitoring and evaluation of the whole plan. Not stated here, as Mr. Alia said, this is not fixed to company-wise, to specific company. So in generally, some companies are doing the monitoring, whether periodically, weekly, monthly, and reporting wise. So, and again, some companies who will do the monitoring, in some companies can be committee, internal committee, some companies from the CEO office manager, and some companies are the internal auditors who are higher level, يعني between the CEO and department heads, just above. So it differ from company to company. That's why not presented here in a fixed way. So M&E, monitoring and evaluation, it will be from period to period, where our plan reach, how much is achieved, where is the point of weakness, and it will be cascaded or submitted to the concerned person, whether top management, CEO, or whoever. Number 5, risk and mitigation. All what I have stated, there's risk and mitigation in terms of how it can be happened or what risk can be.
Are we seeing the right page? Are we seeing the right page?
لا I'm talking about those verbally. I didn't mention the presentation because not يعني stated to fixed company. يعني it's different from company to company in general. أنا بس عم بشرح بس I put a slide just to give example on what I'm talking about. Risk of not having the objective. It can be resistance to change. Let's take training and development strategy. Number 2, there are some people are resistant to change. This is risk. So in advance, starting from the year, before starting the year, there is risk can be there. Resistance to change, let's say, what mitigation we put as HR in case this happened. So it can be close and clear communication from the HR team. It can be sending them the importance of the change of the training. Some people doesn't like training, are not willing to training, or don't believe on training. So we need to keep close monitoring and clear communication with them to make this happen through different channels. Another risk can be policy formulation or not following policy and procedure, which already said for all departments. So again, the mitigation can be regular audits in all departments to make sure that all policy and formulation are happened. That's all actually. I'm not sure if I was fast. Thank you so much, Dr. Rabia. If in case, again, taking the point will help to gather the necessary information, clarify the ideas, and create solid foundation if your achievable business plan is set. Final remarks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rabia. Thank you.
See, guess we can get questions now. If you have any questions. أي حد عنده أسئلة يا شباب؟
طلال عندك أسئلة؟
لا سلامتك دكتور، أنا جدا شاكر لكم، مستمع وبصمت تعلمت.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. Thank you very much. I have just one question.
حضرتك مصطفى تقفل الشير من عندك؟
إيه.
تفضل.
شكرا دكتور ربيع. It's a general question about measuring the KPIs. I know that you can have a different tool to measure each KPI, but mostly what is the tools used for those KPIs? It's a systematic or metrics or what kind of tools could be more useful and reliable? Thank you.
تحب تجاوب أو أنا بجاوب دكتور ربيع؟
تفضل.
Mr. Nael, شوف هو it depend on the position and department you're talking about. In my case, when I'm creating GDs for all companies, for top management, department heads, I create also the KPIs for them. So let's talk about FMB. إذا عم نحكي نحن على FMB بما إنك سأل بالعربي، عم نحكي عن FMB Operation Manager. أنت بتحط له yes measurable KPI. نحن بنحتاج employee satisfaction 70% end of the month. فهو daily operation work of FMB, they have reports on receiving complaint from the customer, how many complaint, what was the complaint, and how much the satisfaction. They have it already. So yes, measurable in so many area. تحديدا أنا عم بحكي عن let's say هذا المثل عن FMB. ما بعرف إذا وضحت.
It's
عليا
okay.
علي برضه لو تحبي تقولي حاجة عليا برضه.
And
If you
I
want to-
think maybe you were asking about a specific tool that is used to measure KPIs. For example, like Power BI for finance or numbers. Is that something that you had in mind?
Yes.
Okay, so there are certain tools that are available, but it's only when you have the actual data that can give you those, that can utilize the tools. So if you have things like KPIs related to employees and you have a system like SAP, so SAP SuccessFactors can actually give you all the data you need that can now count or give measures to your KPIs because everything is in the system. But when you don't have a system in hand, then you will have to come up with the measure yourself based on the organization you work for. Finance is quite straightforward and easy. Marketing is quite straight because you have Power BI, but marketing, you also have tools like Google. I don't know what the tool is used, but basically they have tools that they can measure. CRM, for example, they have systems that allows them to measure the calls per minute or how many calls they have closed. So if you have a system in-house, then yes, you can take data from that and use it for KPIs. But if you're not, then you will have to come up with something that you can measure.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Well, actually also from some experience, what happened, I was working with a group of companies. They have like dashboard and KPIs, and they work with companies worldwide. And the guy was telling me that the real challenge is not in the system. The real challenge is people don't know how to collect the data. And as Ali was just saying, most of the times the data is everywhere and it's not linked to the system. So it's very hard to collect. And people are not used yet to have the data collection, analysis, meeting, discussion, and so on. Okay, so it's two things. Do you have the systems? Okay, but do you have the people who are trained and the culture is ready for the people to be talking data and discussing analysis or not? So this is another thing. Okay, so it's very important. But at least, and my advice, that for each department should have like 3 KPIs at least that you are measuring on monthly basis or maximum quarterly. So don't get the people overwhelmed. There's a lot of numbers and so on, unless the business allows for that. But anyhow, even for departments like HR or marketing, I don't know, IT, they need to have at least 3 KPIs that have to report on monthly or quarterly basis. Okay.
I agree. I support that idea.
Yes, I want to also to show you here a very nice model. It's called the continuous improvement cycle. Plan, do, check, act cycle. So, you know, as Alia was saying and Mustafa was saying, talking about the plans, the strategy, KPIs, all these are very nice things. We used to get, when I used to work in Zain and Vodafone and different places, Butte Investment Group, we used to have getting consultant and we pay consultants thousands of dollars to come and build our strategic objectives. At the end of the day, I have a very nice document, okay, 200 pages or more, okay, and then at the end of the day, it's very hard for people to implement. So one of the biggest challenges is in implementation. So how can you implement, how we make this workable? Okay. And then, as also we were just discussing, the follow-up and monitoring and control. So we have monthly meeting, quarterly meeting, discussing what are the problems, what could be the corrective actions, and then, okay, changes we need to do the plan, and so on. So the plan, do, check, act cycle is very good thing. This is the heart of continuous improvement in ISO, Six Sigma, continuous improvement anyhow. So with the plan, as we said, KPIs, everything is okay. Yalla, let's go and implement. You have to check monthly, quarterly, weekly, whatever, and then see where are the gaps. Okay, why are these gaps happening? Root cause analysis, what's going on? How can we correct it? And then adjust your plan. And then do, check, act. So it's continuous improvement cycle. So this is something that we have to keep in our mind, that what we are talking about now is just the first step to put the plan. But again, to be successful is not having a nice and very accurate plan, but again, to get it executed and you follow up and see where are you from achieving your goals. Okay. So any questions again?
Yes, please. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. Thank you, Ms. Alia, Mr. Mustafa. I just hope that the last part was written also on slides. That would help for Mr. Mustafa presentation. But again, it's a good effort. Thank you all.
صراحة implementation and monitoring evaluation, it will take more than 20 slides, 20 to 25 slides. يعني my plan, it was 64 pages, my plan. So I make it 10 actually. Yes.
What you have discussed was really precious. That's why I was hoping to see it written also. My question is, I know it's like basic question in the old literature of dealing with management. Actually, I'm facing some, let's say, some obstacles in getting information from finance department. You know, as an HR manager, to put my budget, to build my plan for the next year. I have to have some financial data, some about the sales, and not all the figures are not clear for us. Usually, you have this kind of challenge between the finance department or the financial management and the HR. So, any tips on dealing with this point?
Let me.
ممكن بدي اساله what بالضبط بدك من الفاينانس ديبارتمنت مثل شو؟ يعني what kind
As I said, financial data, you need information about sales, about costs, to know, actually, to be honest, I have gone through MBA before, and it's kind of, you need to know all the B&L so you can build your things. But actually, financial management are very strict in letting you know, even as Dr. Rabia said now, it's about collecting data. This is one point. Second point, you can't wait till the end of the year every time to check if you were successful or not. It has to be done maximally every 3 months or something. But I didn't get that. They are very strict to share any data from their side with me,
Yes.
and I have follow up for sales to know where I am, which showroom is selling well, which showroom is not selling well, so I can work with the stuff. At the end of the day, they only go and put the pressure on the stuff. This salesman is not working. Okay, I need to know why he's not working. Why he's not performing.
My dear, they must give you يعني في شيء غلط. يعني أنا let's say من power planning of FMB, I need 20% cost of staff from the sales. If I don't have the sales, I cannot do them in power plan. Same for retail shop, like you said. 10 to 13% is a PE cost from the sales. If I don't have the sales, I cannot give. And the finance manager with the CEO, they will ask you for the plan. So how they ask you plan and they will not give you the data.
Muhammad, Mustafa, he agrees. يعني لا تزيد النار على الزيت على يعني he already knows.
Already I'm suffering.
Muhammad, here's my advice. This is something that I did with all the companies that I worked for, because it's always a challenge with finance, is take them out for dinner and be their friends. That's one. Should be your start. The second thing is, I understand why they don't want to give you, because when you're setting out their own KPIs, they want to make it easy for themselves because the figures are already out. So what I usually do, and try it, maybe not. Once you have done the KPIs based on what you're assuming, because in this case, when you don't have the data, you have assumptions. So you will need to then get it validated by them. Either they will have to, and you need to be assuming the worst case scenario. So if you say you want to cut costs by this %, you need them to validate the information that you are presenting and get the go-ahead indirectly from them. So they will either adjust or accept. And that is now when it's a dead end and they're not giving you any data. And that's my suggestion, because I've faced that before. And when I did my side of the presentation and submitted, and I said, listen, it's going to be approved. You're either with me or without me, because at the end of the day, you will be seeing the numbers. And it kind of worked.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Yes, put them in with you in the risk. So they have to take responsibility. Yes, if you want to
Exactly.
keep the data for you, okay, keep the data, but you are responsible, same like me, front of the top management. Yes, that's true.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. And I will try also the other side, try to make more relations with them.
Yeah,
أول
I
ناس
want to
أتعرف عليهم في الشركة هم الفاينانس, to be honest. That's what I do anywhere.
أستاذة بس
بتعرف والله بس هو مش سهلين.
I want to add that finance and HR are traditional enemies. So since the start.
To be honest, yes. However, it all depends on you, because if you take it that way and you take that perception with you, then every decision will be a fight. But if you make them feel, you need to be smart, diplomatic about it, that, you know, I'm here to support you so you can have the right numbers. When they're giving you the budgets, when they're giving you the figures, the increments, and you're submitting to them, let it feel like it was both of us worked on it. And at the end of the day, you
Wow.
have a win-win if you try.
That's true.
Allah
That's true. And
عليا.
also we need to speak their language, numbers language. They know only numbers. They don't know too much about us, like the employees, how to take care of people. Don't go directly to cut cost. We can improve sales instead of cut cost. But yeah, anyway, yes, we have to speak their language. Numbers are numbers, and put them like let they own take the ownership of the process. Yes, thank you so much, Alia, for your advice.
Well, again, it's not about them taking the ownership. You work together. And again, it's not only your part. Yani, again, you're doing what Alia was just saying, have good relation and so on. It's also the management role. And the CEO or the GM needs to people come together. It's not only HR working alone while the finance working alone. You need to come as one team, have common goal. Okay, you build your relation, but again, from the top management, you also have to put your way and agree with them that we're working together, and we need with finance, I need this from IT, from finance, and so on. And again, it's not the traditional way that finance and HR is fighting. Why should they fight? If you want to have successful business, people should work together. Okay?
Yeah, that is true, doctor. But unfortunately, lack of professionalism keeps them away from HR. And there are lots of HR are not working as the book or not using a proper HR way. And so you find a lot of people hate HR without reason. Just being HR, you are hated already. And
again, but that's why I was saying the top management is very important to ensure that there is harmony and there is clear rules for everyone and how can you work together. It's the role of top management.
So from your experience, doctor, what is the most 3 important things me as HR I should know about finance and keep looking after along the year? Each year, these 3 things must be my top targets for finance, related to finance.
And I'll tell you one thing only. It's win-win relation. Try to see win-win relation. What's in it for them? What's in it for you? Okay? Try to find common goal. And again, if you have problem with finance, okay, again, like Alia said, try indirect way, have lunch together, go out together, be nice with them, and see if anyone in finance is open-minded and we can discuss and build friendly relation with them, you can build it. And then you can still start asking for things, building things together, okay? So try to build win-win relation. Think from their point of view. How can we work together as one team?
Talal, I suggest that you start presenting your side of the business in terms of numbers. Yani when you're presenting or submitting anything or discussing anything, it should have been supported with charts and numbers, because your work with finance mainly is related to, I don't know who's doing payroll, for example. Data that needs to be presented from your side towards that. You have the budgeting. This is something that is prepared by HR in terms of budget for the department, but you have to work very closely with them. So when you're just giving them text and numbers and talk, you don't speak the same language. But when you're presenting it to them in numbers and figures and pivot tables and charts, then okay, you've made it a bit closer towards how they see numbers. And compensation is benefit is the best thing.
Again, we have to speak their language.
In fact, this should be something that you need to adapt, because now people analytics in terms of numbers and data is very important for HR. Forget now finance. For yourself and for your department, you will need to start converting everything you do into numbers and figures and put them in a dashboard.
Thank you. Very valuable, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Again, try to find common ground. Okay. Win-win. How can you, what's common between you? Is this something common? Try to find something common, and inshallah, start building the relation, and also try to ally with people that can help in this, either from top management, from other departments that can help also in this.
But Doctor, I have asked you and you just run away from the answer. You said I will give you one thing. I know that you understand my question, but you avoid to answer.
No, I
So
don't avoid it. I don't avoid. I give you the answer.
Let me ask you again, please. Let me ask you again. What are the most 3 important things me as HR I should know about finance and keep them updated on my records?
Again, it's not about 3 things, and I'm
not
telling you.
I'm not talking about the relation between me and them. I'm talking about figures that I should be aware of.
Again, it's not only about figures. يعني figures, like Alia said, now try to talk numbers. Okay, talk their language. Okay. Number 2, try to find common ground. Is this something useful for both of you, HR and finance? Is something that the top management needs from both you and finance, or you are fighting with each other? So this is second thing. Find common ground. Find common goal. Things that can help you and help them. Okay. Number 3, build good relation. So don't go with the impression that we are always fighting, always this is the case between HR. Try to find common ground. Try to build the relation, talk their language, and find common goal between both you and them.
Doctor, I am very professional in my desk. I do things earlier 2 months. I am organized 2 months in advance. I speak the figures, the digits, and everything is clear for me. I know what is coming in November before November arrives. I submit everything to finance before November arrives. So much organized that I trust myself. I didn't keep anything behind. But still, not all finance people, but most of the finance people that I work with hide the info from me, trying to يحط مطبة في الطريق. Want to stop you, want you to do the same task, double work twice. I don't know how to explain it, but it is like إشاعة فوضى, chows in the building.
Yes, أنا بس the last thing, best to have this, to finalize this for now, and then we can have it, some personal discussion afterwards, is that maybe you are too smart. Maybe they don't like to see you smart. Again, you have to talk with them. Go and talk with them, find common goals or common ground, talk with numbers, and then build a good relation. 3 things for you to do. Again, it's not about the hard side, believe me. Most of our problems about change management, all these things, it's the soft side. Communication, building relation, your emotional intelligence with them. Yes, maybe some people are not very good and they are, have their own agendas and so on. But again, try your best. That's the good thing that you have to do. This is my opinion.
I am copying your attitude and behavior. I am down to earth, same as you. And this is a very valuable advice. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Taib, any more questions?
I have one question, Doctor.
تفضل.
Since we are talking about the strategy itself for the coming year or the upcoming year, actually, which we know that the roadmap is structure supports strategy. So if we want to like do any changes or preparation for the new strategy, which will follow the structure, is it necessarily that also the company should do restructuring or not? Thank you.
I like to hear from Ali or Mustafa first, and then I can tell you my opinion.
Are you talking about the organization structure?
Org chart. Oh,
Yeah.
Can you repeat the
Yes, at all.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes,
Like-
yes. The strategy, even for the department or for the company goals. Is it necessarily that the company will do restructuring for its organization or not?
There is definitely a possibility there when there is restructuring, if it involves expansion or additional duties that are going to be implemented for the upcoming plan. Now, for a company that is already established, that you will have to first review what was done last year, and then you see a comparison between what was the objectives for
Yes,
last year
of
and
course.
if they were done or not. And if it was not achieved, then maybe could be that the hierarchy or the structure or the employees were not enough. So you need to restructure certain divisions and businesses.
I
That
mean,
is a possibility.
what I mean, Ms. Alia, that before planning for the new strategy or putting any like smart objectives or whatever goals, we have to make sure from the top management that they are going to do these kind of expansioning or layoffs or things like this. So restructuring
Indeed, that's part of your data analysis
will be
because
the
you will
first
not.
step, I believe, before doing the
Yes.
strategy.
Yes, data analysis and gathering of information has to be done prior to you building your objectives. Because how will you build the objective if you don't know the way forward? If you don't know the objective that they're going towards ahead.
One more thing, Miss Alia, please, if you can answer me. Can you define strategy? What is strategy exactly?
In a very short way, it's a high-level plan. It's a plan that can make you achieve your goals. So this is what it is in a nutshell. It is basically the plan that can help you achieve the goals by putting up the directions, whether the direction is towards you or the other departments, so you can work together towards getting it done.
Okay, but is like when you talk about strategy or let's say about leadership style, there are 4 or 6 leadership style. You can follow one of them if you think it is fit to your place. Is a strategy already existed and it is there, I can copy it, or it is a trusted things that I did in the past and I believe on them and I know they will work good and I can use them in this place?
Okay, what we're discussing at the moment is a strategy when it comes to business plan, not related to individuals. So the strategy will come out of the goal or the objective that the company wants. So it can change based on their direction, or it can remain the same and you're just enhancing what you did last year.
That is useful also. Thank you.
So normally when we're talking about strategy, we talk about the direction of the company. Let me talk about the company first, which is the strategy for the company. Are we expanding in growth phase, or we are in we're trying to minimize the number of departments, or we are not going in the growth phase. So maybe afterwards we know your direction, going expansion within inside Kuwait, for example, or outside Kuwait, region or international. What's our strategy? Okay, we're going digital transformation or what? Accordingly, you start building your strategic objectives and building your goals. Okay, from this strategy. Accordingly, you know now, do you need new structure or you don't need? Because structure is like when you're playing football, for example. So my strategy today that I'm attacking. So I need many people who are frontliners or a lot of attackers. No, I'm defending. So I need a lot of defenders. So it depends. Okay, so our strategy, for example, at saying that we are expanding, or
lead market or luck.
yes.
صحيح.
So it depends. So accordingly, because you are expanding or you are يعني not in a growth phase, it depends what you need to do. For example, say that in our strategy, we'll focus on the core business and we'll outsource the call center and the sales branches and so on. So you are mainly focusing on our core things, our main goals. Okay, so it depends. So after you know the strategy, and this doesn't change on yearly basis, maybe it's 3 or 5 years, change the strategy, you start building your strategy. But again, HR should link to the strategy of the organization, and actually should be part of the strategy development for the organization. Because they cannot come tell you that we are expanding and we're building 20 branches, for example, next year in Kuwait. Okay, how would you do in recruitment? You have problems, regulations and laws and so on. What shall you do? You tell them, I cannot do this in 1 year. I can do this in 2 years, for example. So that HR should be sitting at the table when they are developing the strategy. Accordingly, you start building your strategy. Same for IT, for finance, and so on.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So I hope this session was, alhamdulillah, valuable for everyone. Hope it added value. And again, as we said, it's not a session that it's one way only. We have the knowledge and expertise from Alia and Mustafa and so on. And then we are trying with ourselves that we are trying to exchange knowledge and ideas. That's why we had a lot of questions at the end. Okay. So thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Alia and Mustafa, for your great presentation. I'm looking forward, inshallah, to have more sessions and adding value to the whole HR community.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
Alia.
you very much.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
يعطيكم العافية جميعا.
الله يعافيك، تسلم.